And I'm such a punk person. Jesus. Can I be any more OCD-ish?
I'm like that too.
So thank you people for joining on Instagram. And you know, Facebook takes a little bit more time to come up because of the camera I use. And it's got a little bit of a delay in case you guys come in cursing. So I don't like that. It's been a little bit. It's been a long time. All right, all right. Thank you guys for joining Dr. Paul Dyer on Bridges Live. Welcome to Bridges Live. We're here every Monday at 8 p.m. Except when I'm out of the state and I'm unable to talk with you because last week Hope, who is my partner, you know Hope Ann, she's usually sitting here to my left, but I'm sitting in her seat because now she's going to be like, you screwed everything up, and I know she's watching. Well, maybe she's not because she's in Margaritaville right now. She's in Mexico doing her thing. We thought we would try to get her in FaceTime in here because I know she loves to visit with you guys. So let's get right into bridges. Bridges get you from here to there. Why do I do bridges? Well, it's about the science of living and the living sciences of what our emotional state is. We all have an emotional state of where we live and how we live. But a lot of times we don't understand the manifestation of where it comes from. And I've written so many things about what you call the vibration code. And it's not like it's a secret science. It's just that some people don't know how to really put those pieces together when it comes to vibration and your emotional action and your mental intention. Those three things, emotional action, mental intention, and vibration, they create what we're going to end up hearing today. And I got a beautiful friend of mine on. It's called sound. And those sounds create waves inside the body internally and waves outside. And that's what people feel. Those are a lot of times when people say, man, I get a bad feeling, I get a great feeling, or I get, I get Santa Claus. It doesn't matter. But understanding a lot of that is important. So, bridges get you from here to there. And today's bridge is a sunshine Skyway Bridge. It's in Tampa. Why? Because I'm trying to honor my guest and honor my friend here who's in sunshine right now. He's rubbing it in because he's in Orlando. he's in the sunshine and in New York right here. It's been kind of rainy. It's been like very depressed weather. It's been bipolarish at best. So, but let's welcome our bridges. Let's welcome Cordell Winter. Cordell, welcome.
All right.
How you doing, brother?
How's it going, Mr. Paul Dyer?
We're doing good. So I got a question for you. First, I've always had a trouble introducing people because I think it sounds like I've said this before. It sounds like you're introducing a baseball team, and
You want to do the ultimate fighting?
right. It's ready to run. So it's a lot easier. So just let's rip on who you are, what you're doing, and let's go from there. Because the story, see, here's the thing. Before Cordell comes on, I was in Orlando. It was Pro Bowl week, and here's why I think life is so beautiful and so precious. When you allow your heart to be fully open, you will always connect. I understand about the heartbreak. I get it. People are very fearful of getting their heart broken if it has happened before, and all this if and when but you start to close down, and this goes back to syncing up with someone. And I was talking to his dad, who was an NFL amazing football player, But then he's like, man, you got to talk to my son because we were talking about music. And Cordell, his beautiful long blonde hair, comes waltzing over, and he's like, this is my son, and we just literally hit it off and just like bam, and we were talking about vibration and cold and the sacred science and sacred man. It was so. Go ahead, introduce yourself. I'm babbling.
I'm Cordell Winter. I'm a musician from everywhere. I'm all over the place. Heck, I was just up in the Midwest where you guys are at, or you here, William Dyer, and I was touring up there. I'm back in Florida. I just cut a bunch of music videos, and I just released my new single, Down, that you guys got to check out on YouTube. But me as a person, man, I'm on a mission to bring back a truthful, real, genuine experience within music again. You know, I'm on a path, and it's really been awesome to watch people slowly start to follow me, and I've been building up this following of people that genuinely want to hear real rock and roll music, and music that has a truth and a depth and a spirituality to it, where you're leaving a show more aware of who you are, you know, within yourself.
So Cordell,
That's what it's all about to me.
let me ask you this, because you said something about, like real music and real rock and roll, or just music that said something. And I know we talked off air, and one of the things that we both talked about, it was about like Bob Marley, right? Bob Marley made
Yeah.
he made music that they didn't just make you feel good, but they were saying something to the soul, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and I think everything has the ebbs and flows, and it does. Everything has a thing that rises and things that falls. When it comes to music or writing or poetry or things that are action out there, why do you think some things get missed in those artistic avenues?
I believe a lot of it is based upon it. Kind of corporate things have become, to be honest. I think a lot of it, the music is controlled and pushed to sell, instead of people that were like Bob Marley, came up from Trenchtown and had almost nothing, but fought his way up to the top. But he also had something genuine to say, about peace, love, unity, and his people. And so, I mean, I think a big part of it is being able to find people that have that fire within themselves and that connection to, that genuinely have something to say.
Right.
I think we're missing that today.
So if is it, are we missing, it's like a relationship. Are we missing things that are said, and are people hearing what is being said?
Will I say that one more time?
What you were talking about. We kind of talk about relationships, and everything you are is a relationship to something, right? So things that are being said are being missed, and also things are being heard are being missed. So that's where a lot of contention comes in, with anger or discomfort, and in coining a phrase, dis-ease. So that's where that sickness comes in. So you want to say things through yourself and your actions, and just who you are, and you happen to play music. But what about people who aren't hearing it? Does that bother you?
That are hearing
the message.
Music of today, or are you talking about music that is out there that isn't being pushed?
The music today, like the things you sing about, things are getting. You think people will hear the message?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are searching for something that comes across a little bit more genuine than what is being, I guess, at the top of the charts today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I think I've met a lot of people touring and within my own music that sit there and have a great sense of joy from being able to know there's things out there that, and there's music out there and bands out there that are still in the realm of trying to push consciousness and a real strive for what this life here on earth is all about.
And consciousness is key. And that's the thing,
Absolutely.
and it's about if there's so many things we're talking about consciousness, but it's just about being awoke. Can you just wake up? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So before we'll keep talking more, but let's play something you want to play, whether it be.
We're playing it. We're gonna have you play the song.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. I'm so excited. I'm like, I don't even care. I want to hear.
Hey, let's play a new song that I just released.
Yes, yes.
You guys can check it out under Cordell Winter. If you look up Cordell Winter, you'll find it on. It's right now. It's on YouTube with a music video, and I'm gonna have a whole bunch of releases coming out the next couple of months. But right now, the song is called Down. It's called Down. It's a song I wrote, and it's actually very in tune with what we're talking about. To give people a place to feel at home, and it's coming along, man. So I guess here we go, right?
Here we go.
We can live amongst the clouds while the world is on the ground, dancing around to our sound, feet on the ground. Don't let the world get you down. Let me lost my song. Yeah, singing all the lyrics wrong. Dancing around to our sound, feet on the ground. Don't let the world get
Get you down.
you down. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Where we gonna go when the world goes crazy? Well, I'm never gonna live that way. Yeah. Watching the wheels go round and round. Don't you frown. Let them get you down. Oh, yeah. Where we gonna go when the world goes crazy? Well, I'm never gonna live that way. Watching the wheels go round and round. Don't you frown. Let them get you down. Let them get you down. Dancing around, star sound, feet on the ground. Don't let the world get you down. Right. That's my song, man. That's out.
you, I, you know, some of the key words we pick up on phrases and
For sure.
and things that are being said. So let's cut right to it. Don't let the world get you down,
That's right.
brother. You hit it on the head with a hammer or what? I mean,
Oh
can,
man,
can,
thank you.
can it be a sledgehammer? Did you hit it with?
Yeah, we could hit it with something.
But and here's the thing, and how I look at so many things of things being taught to me. You know, when you said don't let the world get you down, if it is not if but when we put those spikes in the train tracks that we're traveling on, and we
Right.
and we keep saying the same things, we will roll to a better place.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and I don't and I'm using this metaphor about the tracks and the train because so many people get derailed by the things that's happening to them in their lives, and and the people that are doing what you call the light work, the what you call the heavens work, you know, the peace work, the spiritual work, the song you write,
Right.
those are spikes to keep us on the tracks, and those tracks have been laid out by the different things that people have done, whether it be the Bob Marleys of the world, whether it be the Cordell Winters of
Right.
the world, whether it be all those different spiritual amazing teachers we've had to say, hey, if we don't do this together, we're going to end up breaking, and we've been broken for a while.
Right. For sure.
So is that one of the reasons why that song hits you? Is because you're looking at the brokenness of what's going on, or what's the anthology of the mindset there?
You know, a lot of what you said, and a lot of it is also kind of the mindset to separate yourself kind of from what's going on and to start thinking for yourself. If that makes sense.
It
And I
does.
think this song is a calling for people to, hey, there's something out there to join. There's something out there to be a part of. And I mean, this music here, and music's my home, so I want to be able to bring that home to a lot of other people through this music. And but yes, the song is kind of is based upon being able to separate yourself from a world that's kind of been planned out for you, and to take the steps and not let it get you down, because not necessarily all the answers that you're given are the right ones.
Are,
you know.
are you referring to the systematic system that is trying to control the human being and the human heart and try to make them into nothing but slaves of the humanity? Is that what you
Absolutely.
is
Yeah,
that what you're
absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, it might be. Yes.
You know,
You hit it with the hammer.
yeah, you're a rebel.
Maybe.
I mean, when people talk like that, they're like, the guy's crazy. You know, why not fall in
It's
line?
true.
Yeah.
But it's really not crazy. I mean,
No.
you can live a life that's a lot less chaotic if you just let, honestly, the natural flow of the universe take care of you, and you'd find out that all the answers that you need are kind of right in front of you, instead of all the things that are being created for you.
You know, when I talk about the science of emotional education, um, and you in the music, and like I said before on Bridges, and I'd like to welcome everyone for listening to Bridges Live here. Where I'm Dr. Paul and Paul Dyer. You can always catch us 8 p.m. every 8 p.m. here on Monday here on Bridges Live, and the podcast comes out later today on iHeart and iTunes Radio. And what I like to talk about is the connection to everything we have in our lives. Because if you miss the connection, this is the derailment I'm talking about. And I think that's what Cordell was talking about with the systematic things that are trying to control you. You're not living, like my daughters would say, you're not living your best life. And if you're not living your best life, that's probably something you need to check out.
Right.
And
Well said.
and hopefully, just hopefully, something, even when you're in your, and I don't want to say depressed state. I don't want to use, even though that's part of things, just because things are depicted in a certain way, that means you fall out of sorts. Well, hopefully, things like music can bring you back, you know. When you were sad, Cordell, when you were growing up, what was some of the songs that you remember that would take you out of your?
Oh man. Songs that would take me out of being sad.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, like other songs or my songs?
Your songs. You can pick either one and play it.
Oh, you want me to play it? Okay, let's see. Um, well, I mean, let's see. Uh, I guess I have this song called "King on a Broken Throne." That's
Okay.
kind of gets you through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Want to hear it? Want to hear it,
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Tonight, I'm just trying to find the light. Yeah, my motives are right. And I'm so weak and vulnerable, just trying to find something to make me whole tonight. I'm just a king on a broken throne. Tonight, love, won't you come near? I am not the one to fear. Oh, yeah. It's us tonight. The storm in my heart, broken down these palace walls. Yeah, they blew away all my valuables. But tonight, I'm just a king on a broken throne. Yeah, tonight, I'm just a king on a broken throne. Well, short version of that one.
Also, again, I want to thank everyone for listening to Bridges Live, and you listen to Cordell Winter. He just came out with a new single, and you catch him on. You have a YouTube channel, and it's just
Yeah, I have YouTube, I have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, I have all of it.
and the new single you just released.
It's called Down. It's that first one I played.
Yep, and the video I like. Where did you shoot that video? That field was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool. I shot that out, believe it or not, over by a Cocoa Beach, over that way, in a hidden little spot.
Man, and then you got the kids dancing with you. I just thought it was like you were playing the harmonica like the Pied Piper, man. Because it's something about, we know what kids represent, and it's the innocence, right?
Yeah.
So, are we, this is not like a question to ask you because it's not about fixing it, but music is supposed to bring us back to those innocence, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. And the youth of the future, so you bring them to a realization of what really matters, and you might change a lot of people. How,
So,
they can change, what were you going to say?
No, so, and I'm waving. Thanks for everybody for coming in and joining us on Instagram and Facebook. But my question for Cordell, you listen to Cordell Winter, and he's my musical guest and a friend of mine from Orlando. He just played his song Down, and he's got a new release. But ultimately, like I was saying, it's about vibration, human manifestation, emotional manifestation, and bringing your heart into play. And your music, all music, good music, loving music creates that vibration. And do you think about those vibrations when you're writing, Cordell?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of times when I'm writing, I think about kind of sometimes about what I'm feeling, and a lot of times about what I want to say to people try to bring them closer to themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I would. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. It's an emotional escape.
Hey, I know I write. I wrote my kids' songs when they were born, and I played music, and even when I'm writing or putting things out there, it is an emotional state that I know I'm in, but I like to share it. It's almost like I share my heart with who I am, with what I do, even in all the martial arts I do. The education and the martial sciences, it's about building that trinity, and
Yeah,
so many people live on the physical side, and that's why they're angry, or that's why they're hostile, because they're just reacting. They're not even living. They're trying to survive it, and yet it's causing so much disturbance, you
for
know.
sure.
And I hope, you got a great avenue, because people, when they go home, they do turn on the radio, they turn on their favorite CD, or look how old I am. I was going to say tape player, but
I actually have a couple of
do
those.
you really?
I do. I do.
But it's really getting into that, those stations, those satellite stations, and they have their favorite music, and it brings them back to a place. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
here's the thing: if I'm teaching emotional education, I don't want to bring you back. I want to keep you, to move you forward, because it's hard to wake up if you stay asleep.
For sure. To
So,
dwell too much on what's going on
right. So,
instead of
yeah,
yeah.
instead of vibing right now, you're like, oh, I remember when this song came out, and I remember how I felt then, and I feel like shit now.
Right.
So, how do you think your music can music fix that? Instead of bringing people back, and they bring them forward?
I don't think it can fix it, but I think it can. I think it can teach you something to be able to fix within yourself.
Okay.
To be able. I mean, heck, when you go to certain shows, that gathering, that love you feel in the audience,
Right. Right.
bounces back and forth on stage is it kind of is significant to maybe capturing that glimpse of what life is really all about. Love and acceptance, and wow, it's a big thought.
It's a huge thought. It's huge, but it's something that you as an artist do, or artists,
Yeah,
painters. We
yeah,
we use that part of the hemisphere of the brain, and that's where the amygdala comes in, where we're melding that process, right, between hemispheres, and understanding where we are in cognitions, and things like that. We gotta, so many things are lived by day to day habitual action, that they're not conscious. And you said it earlier, they're not conscious. And speaking of conscious, before I let you go, I'm going to ask a request, and I hope you don't mind.
no, well,
It's a Bob Marley song.
all right.
I don't know if you want to play it, but it's Redemption song. But
You want me to
because,
play it?
yes, because
All right.
it fits. Before I let you go and move on to the things you got to do, it's just, it fits, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show here, man. This is great. You're doing a lot of good things. People need this. So, heck, I love that one you did. And you were in the forest talking about disruption. That
Yes.
was great. So,
Again, like you do your music, I want to bring people to consciousness, and to let them know there's a science to consciousness, not just some magical hold a
yeah,
ball rubber bead. And no, man,
right.
there's a cellular science to it, and it does have causes and effect. And if you just think, it's kind of like, why would you eat this food if you don't know the health benefits of it?
Yeah.
Just because someone tells you it's healthy, you still get less of a benefit if you don't have what you call acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have acceptance to the food that's healthy, then you're just chewing. You're just another cow in the fields. And then it goes back to what you said. If you're just a cow, then the machine is moving you. Then you're just a farm animal in this world. And if that's all you want to be, then you're going to be slaughtered.
Yeah, well said. Very well said. Yeah, it's awesome. It's just like that. I'm really into a lot of the stuff the indigenous Native Americans would preach, and there was meaning in every single thing they did. It wasn't just a necklace, like you said, or a bead or a shirt. There was every single piece of everything you did was glorifying something greater than ourselves. And
That's
I think
right.
that's the way to live. And I think there's a disconnect, and that's a part of what I'm trying to bring back into my music is the fact that maybe there's a way of life that could get us closer to the connection of why we're really all here, in the first place. So.
And you're doing it, brother. You're doing it. And
thank you.
And we can, before you play, there is a support staff that I believe most people don't have, but we need love in our lives. So do you want to mention your support staff? Because there's two amazing people who I met that are just, not everyone has what you have. I get it. You're a blessed child by the support staff, but we can love each other and support each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For me, hands down, probably my best friends are my mom and dad. Doesn't matter, it could be a real problem some days, and they deal with me and they, teach me, but they lift me up like a bunch of best friends would. And not a lot of people get to have that. Sometimes being aware can make you feel real misunderstood. But
right.
That's kind of what I want to give everybody out there, let them know being misunderstood, and that necessarily isn't a bad thing because you're not alone.
No.
Right here in this music and in this life, there is other people that want, to feel that emotional touch and that stir, when you touch them, and that feeling of, giving meaning to life, if that makes some sense. But
it does make sense, and we never get tired of hearing it, brother. We never get tired of hearing the stuff that make that. And here's the thing, also, and I'll let you play the song. If it doesn't make sense, just raise your hand and ask the question. You know what I mean? Go ask someone. So ask Dr. Paul and say, Dr. Paul, man, I heard your show and man, I didn't get nothing. I have not a clue what the hell you're talking about. You can inbox me, text me, call me, blah, 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 and say, what were you talking about? And then I'll be like, hey, I'm glad you asked, and now I can talk to you about where you're at. Because
absolutely. Reach out to me as well on all the social medias at Cordell Winter, and you can follow my journey and the music. And I'd love to be able to. I reach as many people as I can. So right along with you, Paul. That's awesome.
So go ahead. You play. You play.
You want me to play?
Yes.
All right.
I'm excited.
Now emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves, free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy. You know why? Because none of them can stop the time.
That's right.
Oh, Songs of freedom
Songs of freedom.
is all I ever have. Redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves to free our minds. If no fear for atomic energy, none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say we're just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help us sing songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs, redemption songs, songs of freedom. Songs of freedom. Paul, tell me.
Songs of freedom. Songs and songs. You guys have been listening to Cordell Winter. Remember, at Cordell Winter, all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All of my guests I ever have on, I am just such blessed to be blessed by you guys' presence, because it's about the communication and bringing people to showcasing the light workers, like I said, the soulful workers that are doing the work out here. Because you said it, we're not alone, brother. You're not. And I like to, again, thank you so much. Please keep posting and letting us know where you are. Where are you next? Are you playing out next? I know you're in Florida, but so people who are listening in Florida, where are you out next?
Right now, I've been, I do some little shows here and there. I've been focusing a lot on the music videos. I just got done with to Tennessee for a while in LA, and I'm doing some work out there. So I'm chasing the dream, man.
We all are, and we got, and you got hope as your back, man. You got hope is guiding you, man.
Right.
So blessings, brother, blessings. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Cordell Winter. We're cutting him loose, and because we'll be having Ashley come on here pretty quick, and Ashley is going to be calling us in because we have another guest. So I know Miss Ashley is listening. So when she calls in, she's going to be adding in. We got another special guest. But listen what I'm trying to say. We have amazing people who are here to help you either raise a child. Now, I know I was gone last week, and things seem to go just so fast. But my oldest daughter just had a baby. Yes. Her name is Genesis. So I am actively saying welcome, Genesis, to our lives, and thank you so much for being a part of our lives and giving us what you call new beginnings. And there is many things that happen in our lives. Remember, they don't happen to you; they happen in. And if you there's a different, it is not semantics of how you are looking at it, but how you are absorbing it. And if you're absorbing things that are happening to you, then it takes you away from being a part of it. And if you're not a part of it, whether it's positive or negative, you're not going to be able to learn from it. The journey is about development, creation, melding your consciousness, And if it's separated from you, then you're not a part of it. And if you're not a part of it, then it's going to bury you. It's going to cause a discomfort, it's going to cause a situation, right? Or it's going to cause those stressful words that so many people use as is circumstances. Well, that's because you're separating yourself from the word. We're coming. What I got so many. Oh, there it is. Look at my brother.
People.
Yeah, look at my brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Hello. It's so cool because Instagram catches you guys faster than Facebook, but there you guys all are. I just want to see, make sure.
Exactly. I have the green life of the other day is on the line with the perfect flower, honey. Dr. Paul, you know this is my favorite chat.
The perfect flower, man, the healing flower.
Yeah.
So we know Facebook is catching up, and there's a little bit of a delay. But brothers and sisters, I like Miss Ashley. We missed you last week. I know we've had the baby that's attached to our lives. Now you got Genesis.
Yes.
And
yes, darling. Yeah. Congrats, he's a papa again.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, Miss Ashley, we know you got it. We know you can talk, but let's introduce our guest to the family.
Yes, darling. Of course, of course. I would like to introduce you to the new addition to the Just Be You magazine family, baby, Miss Tamer, Miss Jerome, Consulting, aka baby, the Perfect Flower Movement. Yes, I'm gonna let them talk because they are so amazing, and I know Dr. Paul, you're gonna love it. They're actually, the Just Be Your tour we're trying to do. They're actually going to be in and talking about how healthy it is and stuff like that.
That's the one. Yeah. Okay. Look what you got to come up on, right?
Exactly.
So without
making millionaires.
Hey.
Okay, because we didn't know all of that, but thank you, Miss Ashley. We'll take
that. But you know what? Hey, we've been chatting, boxing back and forth, and we know what the perfect flower is, but I want you to first tell us who you are and why you started it.
Good evening, and first of all, I want to thank you for having us on your show. My name is Jerome Schinenberg. I'm the president and CEO of Green Life Consulting, LLC.
Go ahead, sister.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a little bit of a delay. I'm sorry. My name is Tamar Gibbs, and I'm the Vice President and CFO of Green Life Consulting, LLC.
So, brother, go ahead. Tell us why you started this movement, or acknowledge that we needed it.
Okay, well, everyone knows right now in the media and the news, cannabis legalization, decriminalization is a big topic. So when we decided to do, Tamar and I, we got together and put our skill sets together to try and provide the right education for the general public. And in providing the right education, we also are helping people get a better understanding of the benefits of the plant, as well as how we can turn this opportunity into a commercial situation where people can use this information and create a business.
So tell us about the plant that most people don't know what's going on about, because we know that marijuana my daughters use it for what, for their joints, their bodies. I'm catching a lot of wind. Miss Ashley, is that you and your wind?
Let me see if I let me mute it. Okay.
It was her. I knew
Oh, well, I can't hear it.
but she's listening, so that's good. So tell us about what the tell us what it is that you're trying to get the education, because it's so much that you would think people would just understand, and it's about education. So give us that piece, brother.
Okay, so what we do is we take an approach to where we look at the science of the plant,
Yep.
we take a look at the medical benefits of the plant, and the social impact of the plant. Because when we look at it from a social perspective, we all know that for the past 8 decades, 80 plus years, information has been put out from various organizations, including the government, that has been misleading and wrong. So within the last couple of decades, there's been a movement to provide the right information for the people. So we feel if we take a look at it from a scientific perspective, we can find a new common ground to start dialoguing about this plant instead of just constantly pointing at, oh, it's been illegal for 80 years. So what we're trying to do is create the right dialogue with all walks of life. Because this is an opportunity for us to change humanity, because this plant puts you in every industry, and it puts you in every person's life, whether they want it or not, simply because of its high utility.
Yes. So let's talk about the science of the plant. Let's go, because I'm a science geek and I know the science of the plant. But what are some of the factors that you think have not been talked about on the science side? Because we're going to get into the decriminalization of it and how it's affected so many communities throughout for 80 years and what they've done to the people for criminalizing the plant. But let's talk about the science of the plant that you want to talk about.
Tamar, you want to take that?
Yeah, so one of the things that we primarily focus on when we talk about the plant is more the benefits of edibilizing the plant, because we know that when you edibilize, you get more of the benefits out of the plant than you do when you smoke the plant. So one of the things that we do is we take the approach to educate people about the plant. We educate you about the cannabinoids, because it's not just THC and CBD.
Yes.
You have so many other cannabinoids and the benefits of using full spectrum products versus isolates and things like that. So we just break it down to where people can get a better understanding of cannabis, because there's so much information. It can get very confusing. I know when I first started, it was a little bit confusing. And so that's what kind of started my quest to understand it, was so that I can help other people who are just getting into the industry, who have no idea about how to get started, where to get started at.
So let's talk about the cannabinoids that you're talking about. Let's get into that and what and how that affects the body.
Okay, well, the first thing we have to remember that this is a plant. So
yes.
when we look at it as a plant, we have to look at how is it classified and where does it come from.
Correct.
So it comes from the Cannabaceae family, and in that family you also have hackberry and hops.
Right.
And that's where you get cannabis from. Well, the cannabis plant has two primary species. You have Cannabis sativa L, which is hemp, and Cannabis sativa, which is commonly referred to as marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we look at Cannabis sativa L, hemp, we see that as the side of or the species that is industrialized. It's used for clothes and food.
Everything.
And everything. Right, everything. If we want to, break it down to various industries, it can be used to create rope. It was used to create rope. And when we look at the history of this country, you had to be a hemp farmer before you can farm anything else.
That's right.
So that's the side of the coin that we're trying to get people, especially in Texas, to understand, since we have a very limited cannabis program. That Texas used to be the #1 hemp state. So what we're trying to do.
I did not know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and a lot of the prohibition that came with the cannabis plant, it came from issues out of Texas because of our proximity to the Mexican border.
Okay.
That conversation is more for the decriminalization.
Yeah.
But on the science side, what we're really trying to get people to understand is that, when we look at the plant scientifically and we look at it as two species, hemp
is more for industrialization purposes,
Right.
but it does have medical benefits, and that's where we get to CBD primarily.
Yeah.
And when we look at cannabis sativa, commonly referred to as marijuana, it has two subspecies, indica and sativa. Now, when we start looking at those two subspecies, then we can start paralleling the benefits of these subspecies with the medical benefits. So if we're talking someone is having medical conditions that require attention to the body, that would be more of an indica strain. So where that particular subspecies has a large effect on the CB2 receptor.
Right.
And then on the sativa side, which is referred to as like a head high, that connects to your CB1 receptor, which is your central nervous system and your heavens. See, so what we're trying to do is get people to understand how to first take a look at this plant from a scientific, that's explaining its categorization, its taxonomy, and then get into the pharmacology of the plant. And that's when we start talking about the different cannabinoids like CBGA, CBDA, CBGN, CBD,
WTF9, 11 hydroxy,
THC.
all of those good numbers.
Yeah.
Well, here's and I've said this before, and Miss Ashley can tell you, and you've listened to a lot of the show before, is that so many things that we talk about on Bridges is to get you from here to there, right? So many people think they know something, and until they fully understand it, it doesn't do nothing for them. Right? People say, well, I knew it was good, or I knew it, but you didn't know anything about how it attaches to the receptors. So what did you know? How did you even understand how it worked if you just say, oh, it made me feel good? Well, there's a lot of things that make you feel good, but if you don't know the understanding of it, your body will still reject it.
Right. And what you're saying is true, and that's important for the people, the listening audience to understand. Is like, just because so one person say it does one thing for them, you have to take a look at that person's lifestyle. Because I can live a certain way and use a certain cannabis product and affect me one way, and my brother can live a totally different lifestyle and affect him a totally different way. And I like how you said that a lot of times certain situations are bridges to other, and that's what we're doing. We're creating a bridge to close the education gap, so that when people start investing their money, they will have the right knowledge to make wise business decisions.
So let's get in and think. So that's the science part, because we're going to do this, the science. Now let's talk about the monetary value that people can now invest in so they can help, create million or just live a better life. So let's go to that side. So what do people need to know before they start investing in this beautiful flower?
Well, Doc, the first thing we tell people is get the right education.
That's why you're here, because this is where the right education.
That's the first thing. People have to be properly educated, because there's so many levels to this industry. Yeah. We have to look at it like what it is. It's really the last financial frontier when we start looking at Mother Earth. It is that frontier that will create the next generation of Carnegies, Mellons, and your billionaires and tycoons, just like the Industrial Revolution did for the oil tycoons.
And the steel, and when you start Carnegie Mellon, it was the steel. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So what we're faced with is great opportunities, a once-in-a-generational lifetime opportunity. I mean, a person can position themselves so that their children's children can benefit from their wise business decisions in this industry. So when we look at what a person should know, they have to know which sector of the industry they want to go in.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people fall short. They just have money, they have land, they have an idea, but they don't have the guidance. And that's what our company does. It provides that guidance that a person may need. So this is the Wild West. There's a lot of gray area with cannabis right now. So we are the premier navigators of this terrain.
So I guess because people got tons of questions, and I think I'm getting a couple of questions in here now on Facebook. But one of the questions I think people have is how Where do they get a hold of you to get the specific questions they need? Let's go with that first.
Tomorrow, you want
So what was the question? They had a specific question, or
Yeah,
where
because
where can they go?
you're going to be the resource of them. So how do they get a hold of you directly and say, hey, I have a specific question about this flower, and so they can ask you directly. Let's get that out there before we don't skip a beat on that.
Right. So our web address is www.greenlight-consulting.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can email us at info@greenlightconsulting.com. I'm sorry, greenlight-consulting.com.
And your phone number's on going to be on there too. Green Life.
Yes, they can reach us through the website.
It's Green Life, right?
Green Light.
green life,
Yes, light.
life, living life.
Yeah. So now let's get to the money side. What type of investment are they looking at? Is it like a $10, 10,000?
In terms for investment for businesses?
Yes.
Okay, so right now what we're offering is for the business advising. What we do is we set our clients up with a 30-minute consultation.
Okay.
And within that 30-minute consultation, we'll go and address their concerns. We find out where they are within the business. They may be new, they may just have an idea, they just may have come and say, hey, we got some money and we just need you guys to help us spend it. So then we sit down and look at the area that they're trying to get into, and then we look and see how we can help them emerge into the business. A lot of people want to get started in the business, but just have no idea where to get started and what to do with it. So we're just helping people understand that there's so many areas that you can get into, from owning a dispensary, from owning your own products, from white labeling. There's so many things that you can do within this industry. If you look at it from a hemp side, especially from an industrial hemp side, that's an area that is largely being untapped because
Why is that?
Because a lot of people are focusing on the medical marijuana craze
Okay.
or the THC and the recreational, but in my personal opinion, I believe that the industrial hemp area is where we're going to see the largest growth.
And so have you looked at the other states and what they are doing and how they are ripping people off? So what is some of those negative things? Because I know it's happening in all those other states. People are trying to do dispensaries, they put in money and they're losing money. People are trying to get into the other avenues and they're losing money. So what is some of the things they should watch out for so they don't lose money?
Well, part of it is making sure that you have your business set up correctly. A lot of times what we've been running into just here lately is a lot of people are doing DBAs. They're not going in and actually fully opening up a business. So when you look at it from that standpoint, they're already exposing themselves because a lot of times they're just using their name DBA. And so if you sell a product to someone and they get sick, they're coming after you and your DBA. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we set people up to help them understand what it takes to have the business set up correctly, to make sure they have financial people to help them with that portion of it. We have insurance. We also have attorneys that we work with. And of course, the finance part, we're still working in that area. So investors are really good. And and the work on the other part, the banking part is still a little sketchy.
So Miss Ashley, I know Miss Ashley is listening and she's posting on Instagram. Miss Ashley, can you put in the Green Life Consulting so they know where that is, and so you can type that in there so when people look at the replay, they'll be able to hit them. Thank you, Miss Ashley. So what is the one state that you see? Is there a dispensary out there that? Is there a dispensary out there that's doing the work you really like?
You gotta get us in trouble.
I had to come in. Hold up. This is, how we get today. Yes, now it's for you. That's this type of show we host no more because they really trying to they being discreet. That's why we got to come have them on again. They being discreet because yes, we have some stuff that we trying to get over.
Yes.
We do with the banking all because of the name and the card. That's right. So yeah. So I'm gonna go back on mute. So don't even play. Let's go. This is good. So let's get
There are some businesses that we recommend, but what we do is first we tell people what to look for when they go to some of these companies, because one of the things that we want to do is make people aware of what you have and what your options are. So if you go to a dispensary or to a location that sells product, ask for their certificate of analysis to make sure that they have products that are clean, green, certified, and making sure that there's no pesticides and that the product that you're receiving is clean products.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's very important because so many people are selling product now that you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence when it comes to what you're using.
Right.
We are just.
So
Go ahead, sir. No, go.
No, I was going to say, what Tamara was saying is important when we talk about certificate of analysis, because like you were saying, people are trying to figure this all out. What we want people to understand is that this is just like anything else. When you go and buy food, you take your time to understand and know what you're purchasing.
Well, some people do.
Right, some people.
And that's why, and that's why there's fat people that's just grossly overweight because they don't know what the hell they're eating, and so you can't talk to those goddamn people at all.
Right, but I mean, when we talk in this cannabis space, we have to treat it as it is. It's a food, it's a medicine.
Yes.
So we have to deal with it like such. And what I mean by that is people can't just get caught up on the dollars and the cents.
No.
Right.
If you take time and do the proper planning, you will see the dollars and the cents. And just to kind of revisit your question, we do see some dispensaries that are doing it right.
Yes.
So what we like to tell your listening audience is if they are interested in doing it right, then contact us. We have a process and a system that we follow to make sure you're doing it right. We have a staff of doctors, attorneys, pharmacists, cultivators, farmers, and we have 9 advocacy groups we work with.
Beautiful.
So we've taken the time to put the team together to give people genuine high quality service in the cannabis industry.
So this show is flying by, so let's get right down to the thing. Can we get black people out of jail?
That's the goal. Black people, brown people, everybody.
Can we get these?
Try to get everybody out.
Can we get them out? Set them free.
That's what I think would be one of the greatest things to happen in our lifetime is that if we can use the funds from the soon-to-be $22 billion industry.
$22 billion.
22. Yeah. I'm just trying to get about 4 of them because I need to share with a couple of people. I got to share a couple of billion with people, so I need just about 4 of them. I'll take 3.5. Look, 3.5.
Because this is the new Powerball. This is the new Mega Powerball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they can supersede alcohol.
Yeah, because actually the odds are better with cannabis than a lot of them.
So if you notice, a lot of alcohol companies are now infusing their products with CBD type products because they know that it's going to sell. And they may put a little drop in there, but it's enough to say it's infused.
So with the decriminalization, how are you putting those pieces together with... Is it helping the legal side, or is it helping still the education side about this is where are you? It's tough because it's a ping pong match for you, I'm sure.
Right. Well, the good thing about it is education and law go hand in hand.
Yes.
So what we're doing is using the workshop as a space to address the decriminalization, because we'll talk about the legislation, we'll talk about how it has impacted, how the legislation has impacted the lives of Black people and other people. So we're using this workshop as a space to create that dialogue. And we also have a radio show that we're starting. Our first will be this Friday, and that's another space we're using. And so that's kind of what we're doing. We're using the workshop as a platform, the radio show as a platform, and we also instances like this. We're getting interviews and appearances on radio shows, TV shows, to create an awareness that, hey, there is a company out there that can help you navigate this. Even if you decide that, hey, this is not for me, at least you have a resource that you can go to or refer a friend to.
And we'll also be at the Lucky Leaf Expo.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget that one. We're going to be at the Lucky Leaf.
So there's a big cannabis expo here in Texas in September in Dallas, and we are on the speakers list. So that's what we're doing. We're packaging a program that we can take on the road. So we're in Texas. We have this event in June. We're going to take our program on the road.
Well, we have to get you to New York.
We're coming.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna bring the mouthpiece on because I miss her voice. So Miss Ashley, come on in.
Hey, Miss Ashley, thank you
Hello,
for
my
everything.
darlings. Yes, I love it. What's going on?
Miss Ashley, I want to say thank you because most of the people don't know there's so much hard work you do as an educator, as a promoter, and as a facilitator of getting the things out there in the community. And that's why I always call you my boots on the ground girl. So, because you do got to walk.
I love doing it, because it's like we have nobody to do it. I love our show, Bridges. That's why we bring the people that need to come together, because it's like amazing when you bring them together, you first. Let's get it, it's a family and it's a community that we got to keep on doing it. Because this alone right here is just like a whole nother area for the community to get into. And it's something that I know for a fact that half the community is doing anyway. So why don't you just go ahead and get educated and do it right?
Hey, I have 9 kids, and I think out of the 9, 1 doesn't do.
Wow.
Exactly. I'm gonna take everything by storm, Dr. Paul. You already know what our movement's about, and for them to be a part of it, it just makes it even better. So let's get it. I'm super excited. They have an event coming up on the 22nd here in June. Be amazing. I got a lot of stuff planned for these babies. They actually made Just For You magazine the head of the marketing team.
Yay! Congratulations!
And you know how goofy and crazy I get and how loud I get.
I know. Someone's.
We have our own special announcer now. I got fired from the announcer job. Ashley is good.
So you focus on getting before that billion that we need.
All 4 of them. All 4 of them.
Well, thank you so much. And I want to say you always have a platform here about Bridges Live and getting the information out there, because it's about education and it's about bringing the science to life. So I think with more people understand the science to what it is they're going through or in, they will understand what the ingestion of that is, whether it be verbal, whether it be physical, and whether it be emotional. Understand what you're intaking into your bodies, what's intaking into your minds, because that's the only way you're going to be externally healthy. If you don't understand what's coming in, then you will always be sick. So thank you so much for being Bridges Live, and it's time. It's
the magazine is out today, guys. Everybody's in it.
Hey, make sure you post it. Make sure you post the magazine on the feed, Miss Ashley.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Thank you so much. I'm signing off. God bless, and thank you for being here. And thank you all for listening on the Bridges Live. We're here every Monday at 8 p.m. We're signing off. We'll see you next week. And we'll be doing Living Live on Wednesday, Miss Ashley. So I'll talk to you later.
Living Live.